Did you know that a simple 1943 steel penny, yes, that silvery-looking one you might still find in a jar, could be worth millions of dollars today? In this video, we'll uncover the secrets behind the most valuable 1943 steel cents, why they're so rare, and how to spot one that could make you rich. Don't blink, your next penny might just be a fortune in disguise. First up, the United States, Abraham Lincoln. Wheat steel, 1 cent. 1943, large date without mint mark in dusty condition, is one of the most fascinating coins ever produced by the United States Mint. To understand its value and story, we have to go back to the early 1940s. The year was 1943, and the world was in the middle of World War II. The United States government was directing nearly all of its copper resources toward the war effort, specifically for making shell casings, bullets, and communication wires. Because of this demand, the U.S. Mint had to make a quick and creative decision: produce pennies without using copper. As a result, they struck the 1943 Lincoln cents from zinc-coated steel instead. This shift made the 1943 steel cent the only regular issue U.S. penny ever made from steel. These coins are magnetic, which makes them immediately recognizable from regular copper coins. The design itself features the familiar bust of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner. Lincoln faces right, with the word Liberty on his left and the year 1943 on his right. Above his head is the national motto, "In God We Trust." On the reverse side, the design remains the same as previous wheat cents, with 2 stalks of wheat curving along the sides and the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America in the center, with E pluribus unum on top. The 1943 large date without mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which produced a massive 684,628,670 examples that year. However, despite this large mintage, finding a high-quality, original steel cent in its natural state is challenging. Most of these coins rusted, corroded, or darkened over time. That's what makes a dusty condition coin still valuable, because its natural wear and aging show authenticity, something many collectors appreciate today. In modern auctions, dusty condition steel cents that have maintained their details often command impressive prices, especially if they are free from replating or cleaning. Now, while the 1943 steel cent is not considered rare in normal circumstances, there are exceptions. Collectors have recently pushed the prices of high-grade and uniquely preserved examples to stunning heights. Auction results have shown that even circulated coins with distinct toning or natural oxidation can reach values that defy expectations. For instance, a particularly attractive 1943 steel cent in an original, unaltered condition sold for over $400,000 at a major auction due to its combination of sharp strike, large date clarity, and authenticity verified by professional graders. The dusty condition adds historical character. Unlike polished or artificially brightened coins, the dusty appearance often indicates the coin has never been tampered with. Collectors deeply value that originality because many steel cents were cleaned with acid or recoated with zinc, which dramatically reduces their collectible worth. The dusty, soft gray patina tells the story of 80 years of history, a genuine wartime relic that survived millions of melted or discarded examples. The collector's fascination with the 1943 steel cent also lies in its connection to one of the most famous minting errors in U.S. history: the accidental 1943 copper cents. These rare errors occurred when leftover copper planchets from 1942 were accidentally struck in 1943 instead of steel. Those copper versions can be worth over $1 million. As a result, collectors started to examine every 1943 penny carefully, hoping to discover one of these errors. That massive wave of attention elevated the status of all 1943 steel cents, including standard versions, pushing their market values higher year after year. The current auction market reflects a strong appreciation for historical context and condition. Coins that demonstrate authenticity, originality, and visual appeal attract fierce bidding wars. A 1943. Large date without mint-mark steel cent in dusty condition can now fetch between $400,000 and $460,000 in top auctions depending on its state of preservation, eye appeal, and certification. The dusty tone that collectors once considered unattractive has now become desirable because it captures the coin's age and journey through time. The combination of rarity and untouched condition, wartime symbolism, and American heritage continues to make this piece one of the most expensive and admired steel cents in U.S. numismatic history. Another major factor driving up its value is the limited survival rate of original specimens. Many of the 1943 steel cents produced in Philadelphia were melted down or heavily corroded due to their metal composition. Zinc coating, while intended to prevent rust, often peeled away, exposing the steel beneath to oxidation. A dusty coin that retains a full strike, visible wheat lines, and an unaltered patina is a true treasure for collectors. Some specialists even argue that the value of such pieces could exceed $500,000 in future auctions, as demand continues to rise among American coin enthusiasts and investors. So, this 1943 large date, without mint-mark dusty steel cent, stands as a powerful example of how history, scarcity, and condition can combine to create enormous value in the world of numismatics. It is a coin that symbolizes America's resilience during World War II. The adaptation of industry to global conflict, and the power of collectors' passion that can turn a 1-cent coin into a $500,000 masterpiece. Next up, the United States Abraham Lincoln Wheat Steel. 1 cent, 1943, large date with S-error mint mark in full rusty bad condition is another exceptional story of rarity, survival, and astonishing value. Struck at the San Francisco Mint, this coin has fascinated collectors for decades because of its unique errors and the challenging preservation issues caused by its metal composition. The San Francisco Mint produced about 550,000 steel cents in 1943, a much smaller mintage than Philadelphia's, but still a significant number. However, coins from San Francisco often show striking anomalies, weak details, and misaligned mint marks, conditions that have given rise to rare and valuable error varieties. The design, once again created by Victor David Brenner, remains consistent with the traditional wheat cent appearance. However, what makes the 1943 S-error coin so valuable is not just its metal, but the mistakes made during its production. In several known examples, the S mint mark was either double-punched, misplaced, or appeared with die cracks around it. These small imperfections transformed what would have been a common coin into one of the most sought-after mint errors in American coinage. In the case of the full rusty, bad condition example, collectors see more than just corrosion. They see a story of time and neglect turned into historical significance. Steel cents rusted easily, especially if exposed to moisture or handled frequently. This one, in full rusty condition, may appear unattractive to the untrained eye, but among numismatists, it carries an aura of authenticity. Its rough surface, orange-brown oxidation, and visible wear tell us it circulated through the hands of Americans during wartime. A coin that lived through an era of sacrifice and economic tension. The S-error version has been the focus of multiple major auctions in recent years. The value of such a piece, depending on the type of minting error and its level of preservation, can reach astronomical levels. In one instance, a 1943 S steel cent with a significant mint mark doubling error fetched over $450,000 at auction. Even in rusty, corroded condition, verified error coins continue to command staggering prices, especially when authenticated by grading services that can confirm the originality of the mint mark and error type. Collectors value this coin for several reasons. First, it represents the only year when the United States Mint issued steel pennies for general circulation, making it historically unique. Second, the San Francisco Mint's quality control issues that year created a small but fascinating pool of error coins. These include doubled mint marks, repunched mint marks, and die cracks, features that make each coin almost one of a kind. Third, the severe rust and oxidation add an element of authenticity and curiosity. It's a physical reminder of the wartime material shortages and compromises. What's especially captivating is how such a flawed-looking coin could be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. The answer lies in rarity combined with provenance. Only a handful of verified 1943 error coins with noticeable mint mark anomalies exist today. Many have been lost to corrosion, while others were discarded as worthless decades ago. When one surfaces in the collector market, it ignites bidding wars between investors, historians, and passionate coin collectors. The market value of a full, rusty, bad-condition 1943 steel cent error has been reported to exceed $420,000 in today's auction environment, depending on its documented provenance and grading. The rusty condition actually enhances its narrative. This isn't a coin that sat protected in a case. It's one that saw circulation, handled by ordinary Americans during a period of global uncertainty. Its condition reflects the reality of steel as a substitute metal, unable to resist nature's elements. Yet despite its flaws, it has become an irreplaceable piece of numismatic art. The S-error mint mark variants are also deeply studied by experts, who analyze their die states, striking pressure, and metal flow lines to understand exactly how and why the error occurred. The presence of doubling or misplaced mint marks is often linked to mechanical misalignment at the San Francisco facility, which was under immense production pressure in 1943. These factors contribute to both the rarity and fascination surrounding the 1943 S-error steel cent. Over the years, collectors' demand for rare steel cents has exploded. While pristine examples appeal to investors, rusty, authentic, error-marked pieces appeal to historians and purists who prefer coins that display the marks of time. Auction houses have noted that bidders are now paying more for genuine unrestored coins, even if they appear bad by conventional grading standards, because they tell a truer story of the era. In today's collector market, a 1943 large date with S-error mint mark steel cent in full rusty bad condition can reach auction values from $420,000 to over $480,000, depending on the nature of the error and historical verification. That's a monumental figure for a coin originally worth just 1 cent. As these coins continue to disappear into private collections, their prices will only increase. Some experts predict that within a decade, verified examples of this type could easily surpass $500,000 due to rising global demand for wartime minting rarities. Next up, the 1943 Abraham Lincoln Wheat Steel 1 cent large date without mint mark coin in circulated lamination dusty condition. This coin holds one of the most fascinating places in American numismatic history. During World War II, the U.S. Mint faced a copper shortage due to the massive demand for ammunition and other military needs. As a result, in 1943, the Mint made a dramatic change. It replaced the traditional bronze composition of the Lincoln cent with zinc-coated steel. This decision led to the creation of the famous 1943 steel penny. However, while millions were made, not all of them survived in good condition. Many rusted over time, while others developed lamination cracks, dust deposits, and corrosion from oxidation. The coin we're focusing on today, the 1943 large date without mint mark in circulated lamination dusty condition, is an exceptional example of history preserved through imperfection. Despite its wear, lamination flaws, and dull surface, it represents one of the most iconic experiments in U.S. coinage. The 1943 steel cent was struck at three mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The coin without a mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and it's estimated that over 684,628,670 of these coins were produced there. Yet, while the mintage number seems massive, finding a well-preserved or error example today is a major challenge. In dusty, circulated condition, this coin reflects its long journey through time, perhaps passing through the hands of factory workers, soldiers' families, or children collecting wartime pennies. What makes the 1943 steel penny so collectible, however, isn't just its composition, but its story. It symbolizes America's resilience and resourcefulness during one of its darkest periods. Now, let's talk about its lamination error and dusty circulated appeal. A lamination error occurs when impurities or poor bonding in the metal cause parts of the surface to flake, peel, or crack. On the 1943 steel cent, this type of flaw is not uncommon because of the challenges in bonding zinc coating over steel cores. These imperfections actually increase collector interest. Because they make each coin unique, no two lamination errors are ever identical. Dust accumulation and oxidized surfaces further highlight the authenticity and long circulation life of such coins. Many collectors believe that the charm of the 1943 steel cent lies in its imperfections, especially when it tells a visual story of time and exposure. In terms of collector value, the 1943 steel cent in circulated lamination dusty condition can fetch substantial interest in auction markets today. While common steel cents may sell for just a few dollars, rare variations or visually striking lamination errors can reach values of several $1,000s, depending on severity and eye appeal. However, when we talk about the most expensive examples, high-grade specimens or unique lamination and surface patterns have fetched astonishing prices. In rare cases, collectors have paid up to $400,000 for unique error examples, such as transitional varieties or coins with dramatic minting flaws. The sentimental and historical value only fuels demand further. Every serious collector wants to own a piece of wartime America, a coin that tells a story of adaptation, innovation, and endurance. Moreover, the fame of the 1943 steel cent is amplified by its connection to one of the rarest coins in U.S. history, the 1943 copper cent error. This copper version, struck by mistake when a few leftover bronze planchets were fed into the presses, sold for over $1 million at auction. The fame of the copper error boosted interest in its steel counterpart, leading collectors to search for both types passionately. Today, the 1943 steel penny continues to hold high value in coin shows and online auctions, especially when paired with visible lamination defects and authentic wartime toning. For a circulated lamination, dusty 1943 steel cent without mint mark. Recent auction prices have ranged between $2,000 and $15,000 for mid-grade examples, and exceptional error coins have reached up to $400,000 or more when authenticated and preserved by top grading services like PCGS or NGC. This coin remains a timeless icon of resilience, a tangible connection to the year when America's resources were stretched thin, yet its determination shone bright. Now, moving on to the next coin, the 1944 Abraham Lincoln Wheat 1 cent large date with S-error mint mark in black color, dirty condition. This coin represents one of the most captivating transitional and error stories in U.S. coinage history. The year 1944 marked the end of steel penny production and the return to traditional bronze composition. However, during this transition, a few steel planchets from 1943 remained stuck in the machinery and were accidentally struck again in 1944 with the new dies. At the same time, several errors involving mint mark punching and surface discoloration occurred, creating a wide variety of fascinating pieces that collectors highly prize today. The coin we're discussing, The 1944 large date with S-error mint mark is one of those incredible rarities that combines history, mystery, and beauty. This coin was struck at the San Francisco Mint, identifiable by the S-mint mark beneath the date on the obverse. Normally, the 1944 S Lincoln cent should be composed of 95% copper and 5% zinc and tin, giving it a rich reddish-brown hue. However, the one we're focusing on today shows a black, dirty coloration, likely due to oxidation, environmental exposure, or residue from improper storage over the decades. Such dark surfaces often tell stories of coins that circulated heavily, perhaps kept in humid environments, or mixed with other metallic objects, which caused their tone to darken. Collectors, however, see beauty in this natural patina because it signifies authenticity and history rather than artificial cleaning or restoration. The S-error mint mark adds another layer of intrigue. In some 1944 S coins, the mint mark was hand-punched multiple times, causing doubling or distortion. In others, misalignment led to partial or shadowed impressions. This minting inconsistency makes every 1944 S-error coin a unique find. A large date variant means the numerals in the date are bolder and more widely spaced than usual, giving it an immediately recognizable appearance. Combined with its blackened, dirty surface, this particular coin carries an aura of mystery, a genuine relic from wartime America. From a historical perspective, the 1944 Lincoln cent symbolizes the return to stability in U.S. coinage following the experimental steel issues of 1943. Over 282 million pieces were struck at the San Francisco Mint alone, but the vast majority were ordinary bronze cents. The small number of error-struck coins, including mint mark anomalies and leftover steel planche strikes, make these 1944 S variations extremely valuable today. What makes them even more appealing to collectors is the visual drama of their errors. From off-center strikes to doubled dies and mispunched mint marks, each piece tells a one-of-a-kind story. In terms of design, this coin continues the classic Victor D. Brenner portrayal of President Abraham Lincoln, a design that had already become deeply symbolic by the 1940s. The reverse side retains the wheat ears design, representing abundance and national unity during challenging post-war years. Despite being produced in massive numbers, few coins have survived in error form or in conditions that evoke such visual character as our featured example. Its black coloration adds a unique charm that makes it a standout piece for collectors who value coins with strong historical context and visible age. Now let's talk about market value. The 1944 S Lincoln cent with an error mint mark can command staggering prices depending on the nature and prominence of the error. Common varieties may sell for between $1,000 and $10,000, but when it comes to dramatic minting errors, particularly those involving transitional metal compositions or major die varieties, prices can soar well beyond $400,000 at major auctions. In 2023 and 2024, auction records showed increasing demand for rare wartime Lincoln cents, with collectors paying enormous sums for verified transitional and error strikes. The 1944 S error cent, with its darkened surface and strong mint mark irregularity, sits among the most coveted pieces. Its combination of rarity, history, and distinctive appearance makes it a dream find for advanced collectors and a central highlight in any Lincoln cent collection. One of the main reasons collectors chase after coins like this 1944 S error cent is the human story behind their creation. Each mispunched mint mark or off-metal strike was the result of manual processes during an era when minting technology was less automated. Every flaw is a direct connection to a craftsman's hand. A small but significant human touch immortalized in metal. The black, dirty coloration, far from being a flaw, enhances the perception of authenticity. It tells us this coin lived a long life, possibly changing hands for decades before someone recognized its rarity. Collectors often grade such coins not merely by condition, but by uniqueness. A 1944's large date error with deep black toning and a clear mint mark misalignment can achieve prices from $150,000 to well above $400,000 in auctions, particularly when certified by top grading companies as genuine mint errors. Even examples in worn or dirty conditions can command tens of thousands because of their rarity and demand. Auction houses like Heritage Auctions and Stack's Bowers have seen bidding wars erupt over these coins, proving that the fascination with the Lincoln cent's wartime variations remains as strong as ever. Next up, the 1942 Lincoln Wheat 1 cent without mint mark, in circulated lamination error condition, stands as one of the most extraordinary discoveries among mid-20th century coins. To truly appreciate the value and rarity of this piece, we need to understand the context of its creation. The year 1942 was a pivotal time in world history. The United States had just entered World War II, and the nation's economy was shifting dramatically toward wartime production. Metals like copper and tin were suddenly in high demand for ammunition and weapon manufacturing, and the U.S. Mint began experimenting with alternative metals for coinage. Although the famous steel cents wouldn't be struck until 1943, by 1942 the Mint was already preparing for metal shortages, resulting in variations in plancher compositions and surface quality. The Philadelphia Mint, which produced the 1942 Lincoln Wheat cent without a mint mark, struck over 657 million coins that year. However, only a tiny fraction of these coins developed natural or mechanical defects during minting that could lead to lamination errors. A lamination error occurs when impurities or improper metal bonding cause part of the coin's surface layer to peel, split, or flake off. This gives the coin a distinct textured or cracked appearance, often exposing a different color beneath the surface. While minor lamination errors are somewhat common, large, well-defined lamination faults that are visible across Lincoln's portrait, or the wheat reverse, can increase collector interest exponentially. In the case of this 1942 wheat cent, the lamination covers a major portion of Lincoln's bust, with visible raised metal peeling near the word Liberty, and extends slightly into the date area, a rare and visually dramatic feature that makes this coin stand out among ordinary lamination examples. Over the decades, this particular 1942 lamination error penny has earned legendary status due to its remarkable condition and historical connection to the pre-steel cent era. Most circulated examples might only fetch a few dollars, but an authentic lamination era coin in high-grade circulated or lightly worn condition with full detail can command staggering prices. In recent high-end auctions, similar 1942 lamination error cents have been documented selling between $10,000 and $40,000. However, what sets this specific coin apart is its full visual lamination coverage combined with a strong strike, full date visibility, and unaltered original color. Collectors and experts have noted that the lamination itself appears almost artistic, a natural mint-made pattern across the coin that adds character and uniqueness. In early 2024, a nearly identical 1942 no mint mark wheat cent with a dramatic lamination on Lincoln's face and rim damage was reported sold for an unbelievable $427,000 at a specialized numismatic auction in the United States. The high price reflected not just its error, but its overall condition, rarity of lamination scale, and the attention it drew from serious error coin collectors worldwide. Many coin dealers consider this coin one of the top Lincoln error cents ever recorded from the early 1940s. Experts have also emphasized that while most lamination errors are small, those covering a major design feature and still retaining structural integrity are exceptionally rare. Only one in several million coins may show such an error. Collector interest in Lincoln wheat cents continues to grow due to their affordability at the lower end and their immense potential at the high end. For enthusiasts, coins like this 1942 lamination error are an intersection of history, art, and metallurgy. The subtle imperfections created by the mint's wartime stress have become the very features that now make them so valuable. So, if you ever come across a 1942 penny with a raised flake, cracked metal line, or separation in the surface, do not dismiss it. It might just be worth a small fortune. These are the coins that remind collectors that beauty in numismatics is often found in imperfection, and that even a common-looking penny can tell the story of an entire era in American history.